Hi, this is Jason Laux. Welcome to the next installment of my Death of Foreclosure video series. And I'm going to take you through today just a quick recap on why I say foreclosures are dying. First is Me Too investing done badly. This is my personal pet peeve. This is, if you're sending the same postcards, letters, ads, signs, messages, I'll buy your house cash, all that same stuff to the seller that every other investor is. It's just Me Too investing. You're just doing the same thing as everybody else. It's just not effective. It's nowhere near what it used to be, and it's just not. Your response rates are going to be extremely low response, and on top of the low response rates to your marketing, if there's no difference between what you can offer the seller and what someone else can offer the seller, because everyone's offering, dirt cheap and all cash, or all, no equity, no problem, all short sale it, or whatever. If you're offering those same things, the seller really has a hard time making the decision to work with you because you sound exactly like everybody else that talked to him. I talked to a woman recently, today actually, who told me that she talked to a seller and the seller said 15 different people knocked on his door and said exactly the same stuff. So if you're, targeting people who are in foreclosure and you're sending the exact same message as everybody else, you can expect an extremely low response, lower than I've ever seen it. Also, we've got the refi bailout on the horizon. President Bush just decided that they're going to set aside some billions of dollars to help people who have subprime loans refinance, and they're going to be refinancing at 97 and even 100% of market value. That is one of the reasons why foreclosure investing, as many people know it, is dying. Also, properties being over-leveraged and in a slow or even down market is, problematic. A lot of the techniques that people are trying to use are hot market techniques that just simply do not work in flat or slow or down markets. If you're dealing with strictly over-leveraged sellers, people who owe more than the house is worth, some of what I'm going to share later about what is working now is going to be a breath of fresh air. If you're into buying real estate owned by the bank, and I've heard a couple of people say that this is causing a huge boom. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how banks are actually running their real estate owned department, the properties that they took back, how they're handling them, and I think you might see that things are a lot different than they used to be. There's a lot of training out there on how to buy REOs, and the stuff is just out of date. It's not the way it's done anymore. Same thing with buying at auction. There's a lot of stuff about how to buy houses at auction that gives you plenty of time, and you could go raise money and down payments and this. Buying houses at auction in many places now requires that you pay the full sum of the property within either just a few hours, like it is here in Florida, or within just a few days. It's getting to be much, much more difficult, for a lot of reasons, and there's a lot of reasons behind that. Also, as the value of the dollar goes down, the value of foreign currencies go up. If you go to the South Florida foreclosure auctions right now, you're not going to hear too many people speaking English because a lot of them are South Americans whose money is suddenly worth more, which means, by their very nature, their money will buy a lot more real estate here in Florida. So that's some of the reasons why foreclosures are dying, and I'm going to show you how to overcome all of that in the next segment. I'm also going to cover in depth how short sales are being done wrong, and I got a lot of flack for saying that short sales are not the best choice for most foreclosures, and it's true. There's a lot of deals in foreclosure that have nothing to do with short sales. Somehow short sales have been taught as the be-all, end-all of foreclosure investing, which seems strange to me, but I'm going to show you how to do your short sales properly and quickly, and some of the techniques that I'm going to share might be totally different from what you've heard before. So what is the life of foreclosure investing? What is happening right now in the lives of foreclosure investors all over the United States, Canada, and the world? Well, first, the big questions are, will the government bailout end the boom in foreclosures? Hey, if people can refinance at 100% finance, that's going to stop a lot of these foreclosures. I'm going to talk a bit about the 1-2 punch that's coming that will destroy most investors, while those of us on the inside make a fortune. I'm going to show you how to find buyers or raise money in a scared market. I'm going to show you how banks are handling the real estate they're taking back. I'm going to show you your best opportunity to make money in the current and future foreclosure market. And I'm going to show you the current day-to-day activities, how the real fortunes are being made in the current boom in foreclosures. So with that, let's jump right in. I don't want this video to take forever, but here's what's working now. First is new style marketing. You have to have a progressive, maybe even aggressive, but you have to have some proactive marketing. You can't just sit back, pop a postcard in the mail, and let it happen. There's a lot of reasons for that, but not the least of which is it's very easy now to find people before they go into foreclosure. So if you're marketing to plain Jane foreclosure leads, you're 2 months late. Somebody else has already been dealing with them, for 8 or 10 or 12 weeks. On top of that, you have to be able to get to the sellers before the competition gets to them in order to get any of those deals with equity. Hey, if you've been sending letters or mailing postcards and everyone who calls you is massively over leveraged, they owe way more than the house is worth, it's because you're just not getting to the seller before your competition scoops up all the juicy deals. And it's forcing people to be pigeonholed into doing short sales on deals where really what they should be looking for is a better deal. I am going to cover short sales. I love short sales. Short sales have made me a lot of money, but they are not the be-all, end-all that they've been sold as. And they are not what foreclosure investing is all about. Getting to the sellers before the competition is a big part of escaping that trap. You're going to need new style REO strategies. This is buying properties from the banks after the bank has taken them back. I'm going to show you 3 different pathways we use many times before the properties are even put back on the market. We're already making offers. We're already buying houses from banks that never put the house on the market. Let me make that very clear. You cannot find the deals that we're doing in the MLS. They never made it that far. And everything is legal, moral, ethical, and above board. And it's just a matter of, this is why, if you feel like when you are looking at your real estate agent brings you REOs, real estate owned by the bank, and you're not seeing deals, it's because those of us on the inside are getting them before your agent even sees that they exist. I'm going to show you how to make money with discounting, not short sales, but discounting, and that's paying or buying mortgages for less than what their face rate is. So if you've got a $100,000 second mortgage, you might pay it off for $5,000 to $10,000. You might simply buy it for $5,000 to $10,000, and you may not ever own the house, and you'll profit anyway. There's new style buying at auction. Now at auction, one of the things that happens is, since you have to pay for the house so fast, it's very difficult to use leveraged funds. It's very difficult to use other people's money to buy houses at auction because you don't have time to do appraisals, inspections, all that other stuff in many cases. If you are savvy and you're smart, you might realize that there is another way to buy houses at auction, a different way that does not cost a lot of money. And I'm going to share some examples of exactly that. And I'm going to talk a little bit here in this very chapter about new style short sales, how to do short sales properly, appropriately, quickly, how to pre-screen out which ones are not going to happen. And what's happening to a lot of people is they're struggling to fit square pegs into round holes. They're struggling to make really, really terribly over-leveraged properties, big discounted properties, and they're doing it all wrong. In fact, the biggest thing that I hear from people who are loss mitigators at banks, the people who make the decisions, is they hate dealing with us as investors because most of you don't know what you're doing. And if you do know what you're doing, it's like such a breath of fresh air to them. They really enjoy doing your short sales if you know what you're doing. So I'm going to cover that.